Hey there, Shankar, everybody. Hope you guys are doing good. Welcome back for another amazing video. Today, I'm going to be talking about how mortgages are a lose situation. Without any further ado, let's get this video started. So recently, I was talking to a few friends, and we were talking about freedom and the real aspect of freedom, and how freedom comes with an element of being able to travel, being able to do what you want to do, being able to not feel locked in anywhere. And the biggest of the biggest was the fact that you can say, speak, and act upon what your heart truly wants. And what I mean by about that is you can say, I don't agree with these things and not feel like you're being secluded or you're going to be pressured into a certain mindset. You can say, I don't agree with what's happening in society with this. I don't need to be inclusive, or I don't need to be aligned with whatever you're saying and doing. You want to do it with yourself. Rather, I would say don't even do it, because that thing is not going to be good for you and your family. And in today's generation, I'm talking about the whole LGBTQ XYZ LGTV, remote turn off type of thing. That's happening in the West. And not only that, it's also things like, where's the tax money going? Where is, how are we spending some of the money that when we pay in taxes, it goes out to funding wars and stuff like that, or promoting prostitution within the country and stuff like that. And you don't feel free because of this whole locked feeling you have, due to the fact that you have to pay into this mortgage. And that's 90% of the Muslims. Rather, I would say that's about more than half of the Muslims living in the West. And I'll give you an example. Here in Canada, there is a city called Milton, Ontario. This is really close to Toronto. Over there, 80% of houses are on mortgages. This is conventional mortgages. We're talking about haram riba mortgages. And majority of the people living here are Muslims. They're South Asian and Arabs. So I would say more than half of the Muslims in the West are on mortgages, right? And I mean, I can find some data on this and stuff like that, and I'm very confident about this because this is my field. So now imagine they came to this country and they got this mortgage, and because they didn't want their kids to feel like the house, or smaller house or whatever, they got mortgage so they can settle down, they can start family, they can get going, become stable. But now they're at work, and now at work they're being asked to do something that's against Islam, and this happens often, right? You have to work on interest-based clients. You have to work on clients that are promoting zina, or promoting other bad behavior, right? Haram stuff. But you have to consult them, or you have to work with them, or you have to help them in some way to promote their bad things, right? Promote the haram. Because morality wise, in the West, it's okay to do. But real morality wise, which we believe in as Muslims, it's not okay to do. And I'll be honest with you, morality in the West, you have to look in the 1970s and earlier than that, how the West has defined morality. What is the right thing to do, right? So, which I don't agree with the way their way, because their right thing to do can also align with atheism, which also aligns with a lot of horrible things. And that's why you're seeing those things, the destruction of homes and families in the West. But in Islamic perspective, it's different, right? So, Kat, you have been asked to do this, and now you feel pressurized, because if you don't do it, it might put people in a bad eye. And I know, put you in a bad eye. And I know in the West they talk about, oh no, we're all inclusive. You can just say no, and so yeah, you can say no, but the bias area, your promotions, your next thing, the next person being fired, all that aspect comes from an emotional bias perspective. You don't. Not everything is 100% by or look at the performance review, or look at this. A part of performance review is also culture. So you know that, and you feel this pressure that, okay, if I don't do it, I might not get the promotion. I might lose the job, because yes, job loss is happening. A lot of companies are cutting jobs because of the economy, right? Recession. So, and who are the people who still have their jobs? Are the people who were able to keep those relationships, able to dwindle in, able to make those strong, their strong spot within the organization. And you do that by being involved at these events and these different things that are happening, and working with any client that gives a manager feels so happy. Oh, I can just give this guy work, and he doesn't ever give me a headache. It's just, yeah, okay, I'll do it. So then you start softening into this stuff. You try your best to not let it affect your family, but slowly, one step at a time. Remember, shaitan, this is your iman, right? Let's just, this is your iman. Shaitan puts poison, one drop, 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 one drop. And before you know it, yeah, that drop is a bucket. And you're normalizing everything. And if you don't believe me, there's stats on this, and I'll put this up actually. I think 22% of Muslim immigrants who are born Muslims are leaving Islam in the West. So, okay, we'll put that aside. What I'm trying to say with that is that, look, you start normalizing it, and it's not your generation, it's the next generation after that starts normalizing it even more, because you might just go to a one event, they'll be intertwined with that event. Not only be intertwined with that event, they might be even promoting that event. That's why you'll see sisters with rainbow flag hijabs, you know. And so this is an evident thing. You'll see brothers who are holding these flags up at, you know, university rallies and promoting them and saying, because you feel confined. It starts with you, because you took that mortgage, you're confined, and you'll do things so your mortgage, and you can pay into that mortgage. Now, that's first loss. Second loss is you are stuck. You are stuck because you can't go anywhere. You go 3 months, 4 months. If you want today to leave everything and go, you can't. You know you have to make this monthly payment, because if you don't make that monthly payment, you will go to bankruptcy. If you go to bankruptcy, or the bank's gonna come knocking at your door, what's going on? Bankruptcy destroys your credit, and there's goes other issues come also with that. Okay, and then they take away your home, and then you're kind of left again in the situation at 0 point, which was like, why did you take a mortgage in the first place? You could have just rented. Okay, that's the second loss. No freedom of time, and reality is no freedom. First was no freedom of expression. Second is no freedom of location and time and what you truly want to do. Third thing is where their biggest loss is the difference between mortgage rate and rental rate in today's time is literally like maybe $100, $200. Rather, I'd even make the argument that your rental rate might even be cheaper in today's economy. If you really go into the details of, oh, don't have to pay for maintenance, don't have to worry about all these XYZ things, I just have to pay for rent, I come in, I leave, and it's okay, you know, especially in the West. I took on this haram mortgage, but rent maybe was only $200-300 more, and for that $200-300 more, I may have lost my home in the akhirah. I don't know. I'm not saying this. It's not a fatwa. What I'm saying is, so this haram mortgage was only $300 cheaper than your renting. And for that $300, you waged war with Rabb and the Prophet ﷺ. There's nothing more of a bigger loss than that. And then on top of that, now there's halal options. And yes, halal options are a little bit more expensive, but that's because they're equity. And when the economy crashes, the market crashes, that also reflects in equity. A contract. It's not a loan, it's a contract. And then let's just say when you have that money to invest somewhere with your RSP or RESP or whatever, you can put it into that fund also and make that X percentage, which is a little bit better than putting it into a fixed deposit. You have to understand there's both sides to the discussion. It's not one-sided discussion. As a whole, mortgages are a loss situation. There's a lot more that I can go into details about this, and truly try to determine what is the end goal of your life, and then work backwards from there. And if you have friends around you who are pressuring, because I know what, you know, once one person does something wrong, to soften that guilt or soften that pain is to see other people around you do it also. So then they hook you into it. And shaitan's already giving you waswasa. You know that drop of poison? It's already happening. So, you know, don't come into the influence. Work backwards from your akhirah end goal, and see whatever works out. And things that don't work out, honestly, if you let some things go for the sake of Allah, it will come in multiple folds. And I assure you, I know multiple families that didn't go to haram mortgages, and now within less than I would say 20 years or 15 years, less than 15 years, they were able to buy their own house, a massive house for their entire family. Whereas people who are on the haram conventional mortgages, it's been 30 years or 25 years after they'll actually end up owning that house. You can weigh the difference. Plus, this family is living a house and a beautiful, you know, home situation. Whereas this family, the sons are doing zina, the sons are into drugs, same thing as their daughter. The husband and wife are on the verge of divorce. Actually, they've probably already gotten divorced. They're driving old cars. They're eating not the best food. They're probably obese and not that good looking either. So you make that judgment. I hope you guys like this video. Let me know in the comments below. And as always, take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum.